Auggie, what was your number 10?
Ant-Man.
My number 10 was Creed 3.
My number 10 was Air.
Augie, number 9.
Elemental.
Mine was Wonka.
Mine was... It was One Piece.
Augie.
Ninja Turtles.
My number 8 was Oppenheimer.
My number 8 was Super Mario.
Augie, number 7.
John Wick.
My number 7 was Barbie.
My number 7, The Bear.
Augie, number 6.
Then mine was The Bear.
My number 6 was John Wick.
My number 6 was Barbie.
All right, and now we're doing top 5, my friends. Augie, we're starting with you. Number 5. What do you got?
Super Mario Brothers.
Whoa. I couldn't have guessed that.
I wouldn't have guessed that either. Honestly, I didn't know you watched Super Mario Bros. I'm sure we talked about it at some point. But why is it so high? Why is it number 5?
I felt like it was the first movie that wasn't behind, like I've been saying. That's for one.
Okay.
But I thought it was going to be like how you said, it was just going to be a cash grab because Chris Pratt, Jack Black, just the cast
That's
alone.
Bowser.
Like I was like, oh, they're going to sell this, just toys, everything. But when they actually showed it, it wasn't, I thought it was going to be a video game movie. And it wasn't like a video game movie. It was like Mario and Luigi, like if they were real life and they went into a
movie.
Right.
Or a video game.
Like a video game or like another dimension. And it almost seems like other people are stuck there now too. Like Peach, she says she wasn't from there and all that. But
they didn't get into that, did they?
Not a whole lot.
But I like how they did everything, like how you guys are saying they threw little pieces, like Rainbow Road wasn't a race. It was like a shortcut. And it was just a bunch of little stuff like the original Donkey Kong.
One thing that I didn't mention was Jack Black's portrayal as Bowser.
Peaches.
It's so like even now I think he recently came out and said, you know what, I hope there's a part 2 and I hope it's a musical. And I was like, you know what, Jack Black
They're
is
gonna do it because of him.
Exactly. He's so talented as both an actor and as a musician. I'm like, I would definitely watch a movie.
I would watch that. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well,
you know what we do need? We
What?
need a Luigi's Mansion movie.
obviously.
Give us the Luigi's
We might get it. We might get it.
I'm with you.
They even do shows now, so.
So with what I was going to lead to was that there's this talk and maybe even hope for becoming its own universe where we get to see more Luigi, Mario.
We got the Yoshi post credit.
Exactly. So, I'm hopeful for this because like I said, I really like this movie as well. I know it's in my top 10 as well.
It's not on my list, but I did enjoy it, and I did think it was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Right.
And by the time we get to the end, Mario and Luigi are like together, and they're saving New Donk City or whatever they're from.
Mm-hmm.
And they get the star, the din, 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 and then din, din, din. I was so hyped. I was like, this is a superhero movie. Yeah. I was actually
but I like how they did everything. Like, like when he got the cat, when he became the cat and he did his shit. And then the Rainbow Road. What's the other one was it?
I mean, they had like the Super Smash Bros. Thing where he was fighting Donkey Kong and... Yeah, it was really good.
It was better than I thought. I thought it was gonna be just a video game movie, just like a throwaway, and then it ended up being better than I thought. Like more universes like that. Like I want Luigi's Mansion, and they already teased it a little bit. They put them. I was like, oh, here it goes, that's Luigi's Mansion. Right. But now that there's like different realms, it's like you said, like it's gonna be a whole.
Well, next up is the Legend of Zelda movie.
Oh, see, and then. Eventually, what?
Super Smash Bros.
See, so
we're gonna get the Metroid movie.
They'll sell. I'm surprised this shit hasn't happened before.
I know.
It almost seems like we're in the 80s again. You got the Barbie movie. You got all these freaking... In
terms of like properties like that?
Yeah, like all the old properties are coming back, and it's like...
Well, it goes to show how like relevant they've been, like even till now.
Yeah.
That like our nieces and nephews still play Mario and stuff like that, you know?
Sonic.
Turtles. Sonic has a weird fan base.
X-Men soon.
We won't talk about Sonic.
X-Men soon.
I haven't seen it, but I have a friend or some friends that are fans of Sonic.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's why they're being biased, but they said the movies are pretty good.
Are they weird?
No.
No. All right.
Well, no.
A little bit.
I don't know.
All right, my friend. Number 5.
So I've been again, considering this a lot, and it's tough.
Okay.
It is tough. I think for my number 5, right?
Yeah.
So many.
There's just so many good ones.
There's so many. So, by the way, I don't have a list made. I just have.
So you're going off the
Movies.
cuff?
I'm going off of my entire list of what I've
Damn.
seen this.
You want me to go to buy you time?
No. Of course not.
No.
It's between 2 right now, and I am gonna have to go with House of the Dragon.
Ooh. Wait, did that come out this year?
That came out this year.
Did it?
Was it this year?
I don't think so.
Oh,
That's
are you
this-
sure?
that's this guy's-
Because if
that's-
it did, it would be on my list.
Oh, crazy.
I
Hold
might
on.
have to revise.
Okay, how about you go and then I double
Okay.
make sure because
No lie, I
Okay.
thought No Way Home was like.
This year.
That-
I watched it again. I was
that
like,
means my freaking.
All right. I'll buy you some time.
Buy some time.
My number 5. And I can't believe it's this low. Because this is how good this year is, man. My number 5 is The Last of Us.
Oh wow.
I know, and
Oh, so it is last year. Sorry, my
Okay.
bad. But in that case, I do have my number 5.
Okay.
But go on.
so my number 5 is The Last of Us. And if you've been a follower of the podcast, you know that The Last of Us video game is my favorite video game of all time. Number 1 and 2 are probably number 1 and 2. But so
In
it's
that
already
order?
Yeah.
maybe 2 is number 1.
Whoa.
If you're following.
Whoa.
Number 2 takes bigger swings. You know?
It takes it to different levels,
Different levels.
different dimensions.
But anyway, this is already one of my favorite stories of all time, and it's the best video game portrayal ever. And Bella Ramsey as Ellie. Ellie's one of my favorite characters. And Bella Ramsey, it took a little bit for me to warm up to her.
Right.
But as soon as I got her
Right.
and her take on the character, I loved her. Pedro Pascal immediately as Joel was incredible.
Mhm.
So this show was a direct portrayal from a story that is already one of my favorites of all time. And then they gave me episode 3, which was Bill's story.
Yeah.
Bill and Frank. And like, people have their criticisms that like, oh, it didn't make sense. It was just like a one-off. I don't give a shit.
You want to know something real quick?
What's up?
That's the best episode in every
And it's
Show,
the best
series. ever.
It's so good because it makes
Ever.
you hurt. It makes you feel wholesome. It makes you
Yeah.
feel love,
Hopeful
hopeful. Yeah,
in this doomed world.
because honestly, they have the happiest ending out of
It's
everybody's
so
ending.
great.
And us playing the game, I know all 3 of us have played Last of Us 2. No spoilers for what's coming up, but if you haven't played Last of Us 2,
Get on it right
it
now.
doesn't get better.
Yeah.
Like, it's awful. And Bill and Frank's story,
In a good way, by the way.
yeah. And it's not like this is like a departure. Bill's story, it is a little bit of a departure, but my point is Bill's story in the game was alluded to that he had a partner in Frank.
Yeah.
But we don't see
Right.
anything after that. Like, we leave Bill,
So-
whatever.
In the game?
What he's trying
In
to
the
say
game.
is that we learn a lot from these side stories in that universe from letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From notes and letters. Sometimes it's spray paint on the wall where we have to go out of our way to piece these stories together. We have to look
Right.
for the notes, the
Right.
writings on the
And
wall.
what HBO
notes.
did was they were like, let's just make an episode
Exactly.
about their story.
And it's phenomenal.
It's the most beautiful story, and it is like a sidebar.
There's
like,
one story that I'm pissed off about.
okay.
And I think I know you know which one I'm talking about.
I don't actually.
It's
What
the
is
one
it?
from the sewers.
Okay.
Remember
what
we
was his name?
I forgot his name too.
But yeah, he
It's a whole community inside the sewers.
right. That's completely cut out of the show.
Right.
Where he was a loner in the sewers. He left to the sewers to survive this
And he-
outbreak,
Right.
and he ended up taking in like
People.
kids and families, and ended
Yeah.
up teaching them.
And
I forgot his name.
So a whole community was built inside the sewers until one day I forgot exactly what happened,
Yeah.
but all those zombies
Somebody infected.
came in, they left the door open or whatever, and they all came in and killed
Right.
everyone in there. And it's the most tragic
Right.
but
Huh.
most it's a great story.
And they show
Yeah.
glimpses
Right.
of it in the show, but you don't get the whole story.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They don't get the whole full story.
Yeah, you're right. That would have been a good episode.
Mm.
But regardless, the show is a great adaptation. It's a great story. I felt the same feelings I did as the game. So it's already one of my favorite stories. But because I've already seen it, I can't.
It doesn't hit as hard.
It doesn't hit as hard, but still, it's number 5 on the year for me.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's a beautiful show. It's a tragic show. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. That's number 5. Auggie, number 4.
My number 4 is Last of
I
Us.
knew it. The way he was smiling, he's gonna say the same thing. Okay, go ahead.
And like you said, I liked it for every reason. The only thing I didn't like is they didn't do the drown scene.
Right.
They flashbanged them and like they took them like that.
So what you're saying?
Something like that.
In the game, Ellie can't swim.
Yeah, and they do mention it in the show, so they made it seem like they were gonna bring it back up, but that's just being picky.
Yeah.
But other than that, I liked all of it. Like he said, episode 3, I liked that they actually went with the letters instead, because it would have been hard to do Bill's whole city.
Right.
Like his whole thing where Joel's hanging upside down, and that would have been like 2 episodes alone.
Right.
So I like that they went with that. They explained somewhat of his story. And that's what pissed people off that episode right there.
A lot of people were pissed off for a lot of different reasons.
People just like to be pissed off for it.
Yeah. One was because it was a gay story, which we won't talk about those people. But I understand some complaints that it was a departure, which is where for people who haven't played the game, they're just like, well, we're following Joel and Ellie, and then all of a sudden we get this departure on episode 3. I get that, but regardless, it was a beautiful episode.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why it was made that way is for the same reason that we were just talking about, where in order for us to know these other stories, we have to kind of go out of our way and reach for the achievements, right? Where we're looking for clues that talk about these side stories and side characters, which I think was great. And it makes the universe or the game a better portrayal as a series.
Yeah. And then I like Tommy.
Tommy, he's great. The brother,
his whole shit. I forgot his wife's name, but
ooh, I forgot too.
She's the leader of the Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson. And I wouldn't mind the sideshow of that. Like he said, Jackson is it's just them for a while. But
for those who haven't played Last of Us 2, we're not going to spoil it. Don't worry. But man, what a ride we're about to go on!
And I hope it's 2-part. I know it is.
Well, they did say it's going to be 2 seasons.
Okay, good. There's no way that they could tell that in 10 episodes, 8
Take
episodes.
Your time. These 3 seasons, shit.
In a way, season 1 was kind of rushed.
Yeah,
it could have used some more episodes.
Maybe like 2 more.
Yeah, that's still rushed.
Yeah.
But I feel like, who is it? HBO.
HBO.
I feel like they weren't even confident enough in it where they're like,
I think they were,
because we're coming off 2020.
Because they like when I think it was House of the Dragon out first for Game of Thrones,
and the House of the Dragon.
It was something where like my point that I'm making is that where they had a trailer for like what's the next group of shows that are coming out, and they had a bunch of trailers, and then they're like, and the season premiere of, like, they spotlighted of The Last of Us. Like, they knew what they had.
Yeah.
So I think they were confident.
Yeah.
But I think just overall, because of their format and how many episodes they had to cut some stuff out.
Yeah.
But even then, I think the meat of the story is there. I think it's as
they could have been scared too.
Maybe.
They're like, shit, maybe people are going to be like,
but
because really no video game adaptation has really been that good.
But
none of them. Again, it's the first one, I think.
That was like this close.
Yeah.
But again, like the Sam and Henry story, the what's his name?
I thought they weren't going to do that either. I was like, they're not going to do that episode. And when they did it, I was like, that's the episode I was waiting for.
I know.
That one and the drown scene.
It was.
Oh, the Ellie scene too with the cannibal. Damn, what the hell is his name?
I know.
Are we there yet? Or did we pass it?
We passed it.
Yeah.
Nolan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember now.
I forgot his name. But
David.
the cannibal.
David, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the meat of the story is there. They were like 95% there, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah, that's just being picky.
Yeah.
But other than that, I liked everything.
Yeah.
Like, I liked the way it was
great
shot.
Portrayal, great adaptation, phenomenal.
So that was his number 4. What's your number 4?
My number 4, Loki season 2.
Woo! Yeah, have you seen it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what'd you think?
It's perfect.
Damn. And it's number 4.
It's
like
near
cue
perfect.
The music.
It's near perfect. It's it was everything you could have asked for. But I think what does it for me is the ending.
Okay.
And the one thing that I keep going back to, and I'm sure the people who have seen it will know what I'm talking about, is the greatness scene, or the whole greatness aspect of the season, where he says he's destined. Gosh, how am I butchering this right now? I've been saying this so much, and I'm butchering it right now.
It's because you're drunk.
It could be, right? But he says something along the lines of,
Do you mean glorious purpose?
glorious purpose. Okay. So he is destined
for a
glorious purpose, but is...
He's for audio listeners, he's really stressed right now. He's
stressed. I'm stressed right now.
He's destined for glorious purpose. And do you want me to help you out, or you want to look?
Yes,
look it up?
dude. I mean, in the meantime.
Okay, so in the meantime, let me help him get there. So Loki's whole story this whole time has been like he wants the throne, and in this story, he finally gets the throne. But it's not because he deserves it. It's not because like he has a name and he gets it finally because he cares for other people. And the way I don't want to spoil it.
Okay, here it comes. So he is burdened with glorious purpose. That's what it is. Right. I'm sorry, people. I'm drunk.
He's freaking hammered.
No, I'm not that hammered.
He is gone.
He is destined for glorious purpose. And aside from that, we see leading up in season 2 how he is dealing with loneliness and how he's afraid of being alone. And because of that, he's being selfish. Have you watched it?
Yeah.
You watched it?
Yeah, but so we won't spoil for them.
Right. Okay, so, man, it's hard. So we see him dealing with these consequences of him not wanting to be alone, right? So,
and that's his biggest fear.
And that his biggest
similar
fear.
to Ellie in The Last of Us,
right? So he's being very selfish. He is keeping what's the right word? He is keeping from preventing the event that's happening to happen because he's afraid of being alone, and he's being selfish to keep his friends with him. And at the end, we see him develop into this character that's accepting his destiny, which is him being alone, in return to saving the universe. And I think that ending of him, like we see him where he starts off, not just from his show alone, but from the MCU and the character he has been into the character he is now and who he becomes.
Right.
It's awesome character development, and it ends in such a good note where, in my opinion, I think she'd be left alone, where it's just like
for a long time at
least, where it's just like he concluded in a high note. He was destined for glory. He is burdened with glorious purpose, and he could definitely say now, yeah, this is glorious purpose, right?
And for those who haven't seen it, Misael's holding back right now.
I'm holding back a lot.
Because I know there's a lot he wants to say, and I'll just straight up say that this isn't on my list, and it's not because it's not good. Again, I give this season a 9 out of 10.
It's so damn good.
It's still not on my list because of how good this year has been. But the way that they end... I'm not even going to say end his story, because I think we are going to see him again.
Conclude for now.
The way that we end this season's story with Loki is so good, and I think it makes sense for the character, which I think is what you're saying.
Yes.
Is so beautiful because, again, his whole thing about being burdened with glorious purpose, it's kind of like him being cocky and being like, oh, I deserve this.
Right.
But no, it gets to the point where like he earns this, and this story introduces so many characters.
Where it was, so real quick, where it was him wanting to be like the king or the god of Asgard.
And he thought he deserved.
He thought he deserved, but he realizes that it was more than just that.
And when Loki season 1 was announced, I was just like, this is dumb. Like, Loki died. What are we doing wasting time? And the fact that we're 2 seasons in, and finally now, I love him as a character.
It's so
it's so satisfying. I can't believe we've got to this point. But
the MCU ain't dead.
The MCU is not
It's
dead.
alive as ever.
There's a lot of great characters still. Loki is now. I know everybody loves
It's
Loki.
alive as ever.
I know everybody loves Loki. I finally love Loki. After season 1 and 2, like after season 1, I loved him, but after season 2, I'm just like,
We
damn.
didn't have this podcast yet
For season 1,
for season 1,
Right.
Or like a year ago, even more than a year ago. But we definitely had the conversation where like Loki season 1 was really good, and it's up there in my opinion with the overall seasons that we've gotten from the MCU.
Oh, 100%. You good there?
I'm good. That's what I had to.
No comment there.
I know Augie's been quiet, so
Yeah, I think he's gonna
Moving
come up
on.
later. Okay, my number 4, finishing off round 4, is The Bear season 2.
wow.
And again,
I'm not surprised.
I rarely give 10 out of 10s.
2.
Anything.
Okay.
I've given out 3 this year. One of them is to The Bear season 2.
Remember when you were hesitant to watch it? Oh, no, I was like, yeah, just watch it, man. Just finish watching it.
And we just threw it on, and then since then I've been hooked, and now I love Jeremy Allen White. And again,
We were supposed to have a full episode on this.
yeah, and
That never happened.
because we recorded like 3 things that day, and we're like, we don't have time for The Bear.
Yeah.
But The Bear is so damn good, and piggybacking off of what these guys said earlier about The Bear, you guys both mentioned it already, right?
Yeah.
On your list.
Mhm.
It's so high up there for me, and if this year wasn't so good, it might be number 1, but this year it's really good, and I just like 3 projects more. But this season is like the Avengers movie. And I don't mean to compare everything as superheroes, but this season starts with like, okay, to get our restaurant, and I know it's not going to make sense for people who haven't seen the show, but follow me. Come along this journey with me. To start this season, they're just like, okay, to open up this restaurant, we got to do all these things.
Right.
You go do this. You go do this. You go do this. Everybody gets an
It's
episode.
an orchestra.
Yeah.
That's orchestrated.
Everybody gets an episode, and then we finally get to the point at the end of the season where everybody has learned what they needed to learn. We get together, and our main character, which is Jeremy Allen White, the bear,
Bear.
he's trying to live the perfect life, where finally he gets some peace, and he meets this girl.
He meets his girl. Yeah, that's
which
right.
is the girl he used to love or like.
Mhm.
And he's trying to have both the girlfriend and open up the restaurant. And he's trying to live the perfect life and trying to find the perfect
And it's a hard
balance.
struggle.
It's a hard struggle. And he's just like, I can have both. I can have the girl and I can open up the restaurant, which we need to make successful.
Mhm.
Otherwise, like, we're going to go under. And
Right.
this is my brother's restaurant who suicided. Like, just so much
So,
dark.
yeah, so real quick, for those who haven't watched it and are debating it,
Just
so
watch it.
his motive, Bear, to open this restaurant was that his brother previously owned it, who has now passed away.
He committed suicide.
And he committed suicide, so he's trying to make this otherwise unsuccessful restaurant business into a successful running business
With the same crew.
Yeah.
with most of the same crew.
Most of the same crew.
Right.
Yeah, he brings some people on, but he sends some people off, and like you said, to me, I'm with you. The fishes, I forgot what it's like, 7 fishes, 6 fishes.
It's a 6 episode.
That's an incredible episode, and we get to
Mm.
see the past, and we get to see why the bear is the way he
We
is.
get to see his brother more now.
We get to see his brother more with John Bernthal.
John
which is
Bernthal, which is
incredible.
Great
But
character.
I'm with Auggie. My favorite episode is Forks. Which is where Cousin, that's his name. I forgot his actual name, but they call him Cousin.
Yeah.
Is it's his episode and how he learns to
Where
fall.
he's developing.
Yeah, he learns to fall in love with his job and fall in love with life because he's kind of on the deep end too.
So
Yeah.
kind of to add more to that,
Yeah.
Cousin is not the most responsible character.
Absolutely not.
He does what he wants. He has no discipline. And in this episode, his cousin, Bear, sends him to a school, quote unquote, where he's going to learn discipline. And that's that whole episode. And it's incredible because we see him evolve from this character that
doesn't give a shit.
doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care, to one who probably becomes the person who cares the most about
Yeah.
this restaurant and its success.
And we already love this character for the ups and downs from
Right.
season 1 and halfway through season 2. This episode is his episode, and we fall in love with him even more.
Right.
And he falls in love with the job.
Yeah.
Where before
Yeah.
it was just a job. Now he sees it as like, it's not just something I wake up for. It's something it's who
he's
I am.
passionate for.
He's passionate for, and he finds his love for it. And then when he comes back, and again, no spoilers, but when he comes back and he does that shit, if you know what I'm saying, like,
He's
you guys
killing
have
it.
seen the show,
Yeah.
when he steps up and he does that shit, it's like Captain America picking up Thor's hammer. We're just like, let's fucking go.
Like he's doing it.
Yeah, like he's doing it. Like
he's stepping up to the plate.
Exactly, and you fall in love with these characters. But most importantly, this season is about the bear, our main character,
Bear.
trying to have everything, trying to have the girl, trying to have the job,
He's juggling everything at once.
and he realizes at the end that he can't.
Handle
If he
everything.
wants to be successful, he has to let go of the girl. And again, no spoilers.
I think-
I don't want to spoil it, but the point is,
You see, we should end the episode.
I know. Hey, we still could leading up to season
Season
3.
three.
Yeah. But point is, like, he realizes he can't have it all, and the destruction of that is so horrifying. You don't want it to happen, but you know it has to happen. And this show is so good.
All right.
I've given it a 10
All
out
right.
of 10, and it's not even my number
right.
1. It's number 4. It's number 4.
All right.
Okay, Augie. Number 3. What's on your list?
Number 3 on my list is Loki season 2.
We're all like right next to each other on these things. But go ahead.
It's just like how he says shit's perfect. Like this dude, what's the name of that shit? Freaking
The timeline.
the timeline,
The temporal loom.
the temporal loom.
This guy broke the temporal loom so bad they replaced Jonathan Majors. They're gonna replace his ass.
They
dude.
replace his
This
ass.
shit is crazy. But yeah, it's just it's perfect. Like how he had a like we thought we had it figured out too. Like watching the show,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Turn
go-
around on you.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Nah, I wrote this shit. Like you're still in the loop. You're still in the
Yeah.
like
One thing I didn't get to mention.
Spoilers, by the
Right,
way.
yes.
Spoilers.
super spoilers.
Super
dude.
spoilers for Loki season 1. So skip ahead
Okay.
if you don't want them, but we're going to talk about
Crazy.
them.
Go for it.
No, go ahead.
Mine was for season 2.
Okay.
But I think one other thing that I didn't get to mention that was really cool is, excuse me, the scene where Loki and I just forgot his name right now, and I
Obi?
just had it.
Obi.
When it's like, who's the original creator of the temporal loom?
so
He's
good.
like, you
Yeah.
inspired him. He
He inspired
you.
him. He inspired you.
It's a time
Who
loop,
is
yeah.
it? And that was just awesome.
All the
That whole
terminology.
episode, he kept getting faster.
He
He
just
was
kept
like, I was
getting
like, how's he
faster.
gonna get faster? And then he's like, he'll come in 30 seconds less. He's like, but it was true. I guess
Yeah.
I don't have to spoil that, but it should have been.
Yeah,
It should have been from the beginning.
it should have been
Like,
the beginning.
And I didn't even. For some reason it hit me. I was like, why are you doing? Why you keep sending this dude?
the introduction of both Jonathan Majors and I'm forgetting his name, but Obi.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the actor's name, but
I forgot his name too.
excuse me. But the introduction of both of those characters enhanced this season so much. Like, how can you?
They bounced off one another so damn well. And
Exactly.
I also want to give credit to, what's his name? The accountant.
The account.
Not, for lack of a better term, the Asian guy.
Yeah. I know what you're talking
You're
about.
talking about, right? He is
Yeah.
He
He has like a simple name. He's
The
just,
one that was like from Alcatraz or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm forgetting his name too.
I forgot his name, but he also did so well where he was adding on his own thing. He's like, hey guys, like I may just be a desk guy, but I know my stuff too.
Right.
Yeah. And that was one of the best things too, like how the bear, everybody had their episode, like, or they introduced everybody. Like you saw where they came from, how they got to the TVA.
And Loki did the same thing.
And it's just, it's perfect. Like that. Like they're a regular person. So some of them might not want to go back to the regular.
Real quick, Loki spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, jump ahead. But dude,
There's the versions.
I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. When we get to the Loki scene with him and He Who Remains, and he's
That was crazy.
I know.
That was
And then
crazy.
he's telling him like, "Oh, like you haven't learned how to do this yet, whatever."
Yeah.
And then he just like
He flicks her away.
he
Yeah.
pauses time. It's like, how long has Loki been in this shit?
Yeah.
He's been
Like,
at one point we know that he's been in it for, I think it was like 100 years, right?
It says centuries later.
Yeah, centuries later.
He's like-
He's like, damn, bro, he's been
Basically
going
Iron Man now.
He's going at it
'Cause
he
what-
became a
yeah,
physicist, a
that's what
theoretical
it is.
physicist, and he learned so much.
'Cause
It's so
Loki-
damn good.
again, it's not gonna make sense if you haven't seen the season, so I don't know why you're here. But he tells them, like, he asked Obi, like how long would it take to learn everything you know? And it's like
And he
it
said
would
centuries.
take centuries, and then it says centuries later.
Dude, later.
And I'm like,
He's like, damn.
And
Okay.
I remember we saw the Marvels that night, and then I texted you like, dude, have you seen Loki episode whatever? And then you're like, I'm watching it right now. I texted you at the moment.
Yeah, you did.
At that moment when it said centuries later, because I was like, bro, I'm like, this show is crazy. And
It's such a good show.
Loki is so damn good, and it didn't even make my list.
That's crazy.
This year has been good.
I mean, there's
like, what the hell?
there's one or two things on that aren't on my list, but they're like, what?
Yeah.
So I get it.
And that's why we're gonna do shout outs later, and you were talking shit to me.
Whatever.
You just went, right?
Yeah. So
Number
it's my
4?
turn. My number three.
Number 3.
3.
Yeah. So it's
Loki.
my number 3.
Okay. Misa, number 3.
Ahsoka.
Oh,
Okay.
Augie's been out of Star Wars, so don't spoil for
No
him.
way.
No, Ahsoka, you can. I mean, I seen when. Can I spoil stuff?
No,
I seen the fight scene on the bridge.
there's a lot of.
Look
fight
what I'm
scenes.
wearing, son. Look what I'm wearing. Who is this?
That is Anakin Skywalker.
Who is this?
Is that who's on the bottom?
Oh shit, he's getting up.
Oh, I have to get up.
Oh, you can't move too far.
Who's on the bottom down
Oh,
there?
here he goes. He's getting up.
Oh, it's Ahsoka. This is
I didn't even
pre-planned.
notice
Hold
it.
on.
That's what I
This
said.
is
Hold
the
on.
first
Who's
show.
on the
Hold
bottom?
on.
It's a whole Ahsoka thing. Look at
Hold
and
on.
Darth Vader in the back.
Whoa. Look at that. Who is that?
That's
the-
Ahsoka,
that's
dude.
the cold
That's
open,
Darth
by the
Vader.
way.
That's Anakin.
Anakin.
Augie smack his ass.
How crazy!
That's the cold open.
Anyway.
I didn't notice that. I thought that was episode 3 down there.
No, that's Hayden Christensen as
Mr. Hayden.
Mr. Hayden, who was phenomenal, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So, just to kind of go on to what you guys were mentioning, first of all, the freaking fight scenes in this season of Ahsoka, it was a samurai movie.
I love the fight scene.
Jesus Christ, it was freaking badass.
It's like
The choreography.
It's like the antithesis of episode 3, where like it's a 15-minute action scene, where it was just like, no, this is like a 2-minute action scene, but every hit matters.
Right. And then the characters, the actors, forget it. Ahsoka. I mean, what's her name again? I forgot her name.
What's her name?
Ahsoka. Forget her. Forget Sabine.
Sabine. That's what I was thinking of. So
Sabine is the other character.
So who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Balin Skull.
Okay.
Freaking, what's his name? Tony? Oh, I'm forgetting his name. We shouldn't be drinking. I'm doing this.
The gentleman that passed away.
Yes.
I'm forgetting his name as well. I'll look it up. You keep talking.
His portrayal as Balin Skull was phenomenal. You know, you knew he was evil. You knew he was the bad guy. But yet, his motives weren't bad, per se. He overall wanted... He was kind of like a Thanos in a way, where his actions were for the greater good. And the reason why I like this character so much is that he sympathized for the Jedi, for the good people.
Ray Stevenson.
I'm so sorry.
He passed away. I don't know if you realize
I
that.
am so sorry I butchered that name because he needs more respect.
He was great. He's like one of the main villains of Ahsoka, Ray
Yeah.
Stevenson. He passed away right before the show came out. He's really
But he
good.
filmed all his
Yeah. Well, there's
most.
we might get a season 2, most likely, and he won't be in it, unfortunately. And that's one of my things where it was like, he is so great, and I'm sure from what I've seen online, everyone is in the same page as me. His portrayal as Balin Skull was phenomenal.
And
As this complex character who was technically the bad guy, but his motives weren't necessarily...
he was kind of like a tweener.
Yeah, like he was in between.
And on top of that, he was like a brute, where he wasn't like slick with the lightsaber. Like he was just all brute force. But on
He was
top
big
of that,
guy.
he was soft.
the big guy.
Yeah.
And he's a really good character.
But again, what I was saying is that he sympathizes with the Jedi, with the good people. He said, at one point, he said, it's unfortunate that Ahsoka is the last of her kind and we have to kill her.
Yeah.
He was once a Jedi, but then he turned into the dark side and whatnot, and that's how we get to him. So that whole character arc and the overall story was just great. And if you watch Clone Wars and Rebels, it's the cream of the top because they add
Cream of the crop.
They I bet they add things like Easter eggs and whatnot to to make it richer for the people who have watched those shows. And I have. And I think Clone Wars is one of the best things to ever happen in the Star Wars universe. But that's a whole other episode for another day.
Yeah.
Rebels is I started watching it as well. It's so good. Yeah, that's why it is my number 3.
It's
the
not,
battles.
It's not on my list either, but man, those fight scenes were so cool.
Yeah.
All right. You good there?
I'm good. I mean, I could talk forever about this, but we'll leave it there. By the way, we did have an episode on this.
Go check out our Ahsoka episode.
Yep.
I feel like we haven't done as many reviews as I would like this year.
I know.
But man, are we bringing up all the important ones right now? My number 3 to finish out round 3.
Right.
You guys both have not seen this movie.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
And you guys both
That's good then.
are making a big mistake.
Godzilla.
Okay.
My number 3
It's got to be.
is Godzilla.
Oh my
-1.
God. So this guy, first of all, this guy is the biggest Godzilla fan I've ever known. All right. Let me get that out of the way.
Down. That shit is
Oh my bad.
You ungrateful sons of bitches.
So he is probably being biased. I'm just kidding. He loves Godzilla though.
So I like Godzilla.
You love Godzilla.
Out of the 3 of us,
So
I
you got a
think I like
tattoo.
Godzilla the most. I have it on my chest. I have a Godzilla tattoo.
It's tattooed.
No, again, we just released a video as of this recording this day talking about the Godzilla movies. Guys, I cannot stress enough that this is a great movie. This isn't just a Godzilla movie where he just breaks shit. This is a genuinely good movie about humans, about redemption.
Kaiju.
It is a kaiju movie, but this movie is the Japan Godzilla kind of like rebooted.
Anime Godzilla.
Okay.
It's rebooted in a way like it's back to form. It takes place after in the final days of World War II, and our main character is a kamikaze pilot who didn't go through with the job.
And he's not kamikaze.
So he didn't go through with it. So he
He's
considers
just a
himself
pilot.
a coward. Yeah. And no. Well, his job was to be a kamikaze pilot.
But he wasn't because he didn't go with it.
He didn't do it.
So
Now,
you're just a pilot.
I guess so, but everybody knows like where so the movie starts off with like he lands on an island that repairs planes.
Mhm.
But that like when he lands the plane, he's just like, oh yeah, this broke, so I couldn't do my job, whatever. And then when
They're like, what do you mean? You have to crash it anyway.
when they look at it, they're like, hey, nothing was wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like, so in other
They're
words,
starting to catch him.
Okay.
so they know. And one of the guys there that's like repairing is just like, hey, don't worry about it.
Yeah, we know what's up.
Minor spoilers, by the way. But he's like, don't worry about it. And he's like, I don't know, like, why they're telling us to kill ourselves anyway. Like the war, like we're lost. Like the war's over.
Yeah.
Like we're done. But he feels so much guilt about it. And in that moment, Godzilla attacks. But he's a baby.
Yeah.
Like he's only like as big as his
Really?
house. Yeah. He's only like
Holy
as big as his
shit.
house.
So is this before Godzilla vs Kong?
No,
Kong vs Godzilla?
It's a whole
it's
different.
not attached.
Oh, it's a whole. I thought it was the same universe.
This is
No, no, no.
before Godzilla, like 1954. Or whatever.
Doesn't Kong appear in that movie with
Nope.
the gauntlet?
Oh,
Nope.
that's the other Godzilla
that's
movie.
American
There's two different.
Godzilla.
What?
This
Okay,
is,
I'm confusing them now.
so this is original like Japanese.
Is this
Godzilla.
-1?
This is -1, but it's from Toho.
So this is the Japanese version of
Exactly.
Godzilla. So
Who
which
the
one's the
frick
one
is
I'm
Toho?
thinking of?
That's Godzilla Cross Kong.
Is that the series or the movie?
That's a movie, but
It's
it's
a
two
movie?
different ones.
Goddamn, bro.
That's the Warner.
Because there's a series too, right? I'm not going
That's
crazy.
Monarch. That's something.
Oh my god! Okay, a lot of Godzilla coming out right now.
Yeah. Go watch our video on God.
Godzilla's coming, dude.
Godzilla's
Godzilla's
coming.
coming.
Like God or Godzilla, one of them.
Point is
One of them's coming.
this, and there's a little review video up. Go check that out as well. But it's about this movie is a human story about a kamikaze pilot who couldn't get the job done. That like, and I'm stealing this from somebody that I heard online. So sorry if you think I'm being smart right now. But
John.
every time Godzilla comes into this guy's life,
Quote him.
he takes something from him. Now it's about Japan recovering from World War II, And
Right.
then on top of that, they have to deal with this giant freaking lizard attacking
Radioactive lizard.
this radioactive lizard attacking their country. Now, there's all this stuff about like the country coming back and like redemption, and we have to come together to defeat this thing,
Right.
Because we can't trust the government anymore because
Right.
they're trying to keep it under wraps.
Right.
So like we can't trust Japan anymore. It like and it's about Japan coming together to take down this giant threat that keeps taking from them. But most importantly, it's about this man who, again, was a kamikaze pilot. He already feels guilty for not
Going through with
for not going through with it. And he feels like if he had gone through with it, this wouldn't even be a problem now. But it keeps taking from him and taking from him. And he goes back home and his home's destroyed.
Okay.
And he has to rebuild. And that whole town has to rebuild because it's Japan. And like they've dealt with US bombers. And on top of that, this giant lizard is now attacking them. And again, they have to come together as a country to destroy this lizard. And he's trying to get redemption and become a man and do the job he was supposed to do. And notice, I haven't even talked about Godzilla yet. Godzilla comes and they have to get rid of him. And I talked to you a little bit about this, about how this is the only Godzilla movie that I've ever seen where I'm rooting against Godzilla. Where I'm like, fuck Godzilla. We have to get rid of him. We have to kill him now because he's a problem, Auggie. I love this man. I love his family. And I hate that they're going through this shit. And this is the highest.
What's his name?
I forgot. It's something in Japanese. I'm forgetting. I'm terrible with names in general, let alone Japanese names. But it's about redemption.
Yeah.
It's about coming together as a country. It's about destroying this threat as a people, not just as an individual, but as a people, and getting rid of this threat for the betterment of like your brother, like the person that's beside you. It's about like surviving and like survival guilt. It's all this deep shit. And on top of that, we get Godzilla being the coolest Godzilla I've ever seen. His atomic blast is like a nuclear bomb, dude. Like every time he shoots, yeah. And the choreography of the final battle is so damn good. And I don't want to spoil
And he didn't
it.
even say the best part yet.
I could go further, but I don't want to spoil anything.
I haven't even seen it.
I highly recommend.
But
guys,
he hasn't said the best part. It's the original soundtrack.
Really?
The dun, 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 dun.
we talked about it. Okay, well we're gonna say it now.
Oh my God, okay.
We talked about it in a previous video. It's up now. Go check it out. Our Godzilla, our Godzilla -1 preview. But they do include the original song, the dun, 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 dun. You know, and I told him, I was like, I did not expect that song to come up. So when it finally did, like an hour into the movie, I was like, bro, they included the original song, which again is obvious, but because it's like it's a quotes reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they finally do it and he's wrecking havoc, and when he finally does his atomic blast, oh, it's so good. But it's such a good human story.
There you go, folks. Go watch Godzilla -1.
And I said I gave 3 things 10 out of 10 this year. One was the bear. Another one was Godzilla -1. It's so damn
And number 3?
good. You'll find out.
Oh.
Shit.
In that case, Auggie, you're number 2.
Auggie, number 2.
His next number 10 could possibly be my number 2.
What?
Or my number 1. But it's my number 2 is Guardians of the Galaxy.
What?
Volume 3.
Okay, I see.
Volume freaking 3. And it was,
Why?
It was a perfect way to go out.
Aside from having the best action scene in all the MCU, why?
And the best flying scene, maybe. Freaking.
By the way, we have a whole episode on that, so go check it out.
Of future Superman flying scene, possibly with Adam Warlock, but the music,
the soundtrack is always incredible.
The way he shoots.
Me and Anthony have talked about this many times, and we say James Gunn should just release soundtracks. Even if he's not making music.
I know.
Playlist.
Movies. Just make a playlist.
Once a year, just make a playlist and let me listen.
Yeah, just like a playlist of like 15, 20 songs.
Like
and
we're still looking at Obama's. It's like, where's James Gunn? Where's James Gunn?
Exactly.
Obama has a Lizzo and shit. Give me James Gunn.
Ski's probably on there.
But why
So-
is it so high on your list?
Right.
Number 2?
No, it's just there was stakes on this shit. Like Rocket, I didn't think Rocket was gonna die, but I thought there was a possibility he could.
Right.
I thought Star-Lord was probably gonna die in exchange for him. Batista, I thought was gonna die just because he was done. So I was like,
And by the end, how many of those died?
zero.
Zero. So yeah, spoilers.
The whole planet actually.
Yeah, spoilers. They did this whole thing where they had us thinking that at least one of them was gonna die, and at the end, no one died. Am I disappointed
and
because
it
of
still
that?
made me cry.
No, but was it emotional? Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think he said it before this movie had came out, but I think he said that it was based around Rocket that they had made the whole Guardians.
Right.
For them to actually close it out
Mhm.
and show us that it was. And then his whole backstory of how he became him. Like,
And I think it couldn't have ended even better with Rocket leading the new Guardians of the Galaxy. It was great.
Finding his family.
Finding his family, that I like the whole parallel thing with him talking about when he was caged up and he was still not free. He talked about what he wanted and what he hoped for. But we kind of knew, like, man, Rocket already has that, though.
yeah.
Right.
He already has a family. He's already flying through the skies in a rocket in these spaceships. So seeing him and knowing that reach to that point was just satisfying.
Yeah.
And just overall knowing that he does have a family that's trying really, really hard to save him was emotional.
Yeah. And then, what was it? The whole,
Excuse me.
God bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
the whole, the thing with Gamora and all that. Like, Gamora, she's over there now. Peter went.
And James Gunn had to work with that.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't his choice to kill Gamora.
Right.
Yeah. They're like, he's like, a piece
And
of shit.
I think he did it great, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, this go back to our freaking episode to see this. I'm sure we talked about it. I like turtles. But that whole dynamic, well, not dynamic per se, but the thing with Peter Quill and like him still being obsessed with her, and him trying to convince her, like, hey, we are your family, we are the people you should be with. It kind of foreshadows or parallels what we kind of go through with people in our lives, where it's just like we have no control over
How they feel.
or what they go through, and sometimes it's okay to grow apart. So I that's the way that I saw it and felt it, and I think it was just incredible.
Yeah, the whole thing was like if like a band broke up.
Exactly.
Like they all went their own ways.
They all had their own purpose, their big purpose, right? Because Drax is meant to be a father, right? And he's like the father of all these orphan children. Mantis is supposed to find her own purpose, and she does it by herself. That kind of foreshadows that. And then obviously Rocket becomes the leader of the Guardians.
Yeah.
And Nebula is the mayor, I don't know what to call her, of the city or town that they live in. So it's great that they show all of that, where they came from and where they're at now and what they're working towards, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, like he even set them up now. He's like, here's my guys. I spread them out. Now you guys figure out like where they're going or what. Just leave them out of your story, however.
And I don't know if I want to see that.
Like without James Gunn?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe years from now, but right away in like a few.
I think if it was the same cast, it would suck.
It would suck.
I was so disappointed when James Gunn was dropped and we were getting Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah, and we knew all that.
I was like, who gives a shit at this point? But then James Gunn came back.
It made us kind of feel like he wasn't going to put in the effort no more. It was just like, you know what? I'm not going to be here no more.
But Disney fired him. And even Kevin Feige was just like, I didn't do it.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not taking responsibility.
Yeah.
That was Bob Iger.
It was.
But like that. Like if 3 would have came out, I feel like it would have sucked because it's like, well,
without
you
James
didn't end
Gunn,
it. But now because he's like, this is the new team. The new team, I would be cool with seeing Disney go forward with it because it's like this looks like a Disney team.
Right.
You got Cosmo, you got Groot, It's like you got all the people.
Groot's on fucking steroids, by the way. That is massive.
He's like Alpha Groot or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know, but he's fucking huge.
Yeah. So the new team, I can see Disney, and I won't be mad at that. Like if
I like that new team.
But I know when I see the original team, I'm like, that's James Gunn's team.
Yeah,
like
obviously
when they get back together, it's gonna be like, oh shit.
Now, guys, I gotta pee again.
We're almost done.
I know, but we got like 20 more minutes.
That's plenty of time.
I gotta pee.
You're gonna pee yourself.
I'm gonna pee right now.
Okay.
But when you come back, you're number 2.
I know. Can I go now?
Yeah. Well, not without.
Oh, crazy.
Misa, you're number 2. What is it?
So it's been the top 3 that I've been contemplating this whole time.
This whole time.
Yes.
2 hours.
2 hours.
What have you been contemplating?
My number 2 is going to have to be Oppenheimer.
Oh! That means either Guardians or Across the Spider-Verse is not even on his freaking list, Auggie. All right, Oppenheimer number 2.
He knew. He was like,
shit. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Anyway.
There's something. It's
been a
another
year.
show that isn't on there that you missed.
Oh shit! Squid Games.
Nope. The Last of Us.
Oh yeah! What a year! We see.
It's been a crazy year.
It's been a good year. Yeah.
So again, and I wanted Oppenheimer to be my number 1. I wanted it to be so bad, but for whatever reason, and you'll learn shortly why it isn't. But for now, Oppenheimer. What is there to say that hasn't been already said?
I don't know. I'll give this.
It's a cinematic masterpiece. It's probably the best biopic I've ever seen, and I've seen a few. And just my boy, Cillian Murphy, was phenomenal.
That's like his favorite actor, by the way.
He was astounding. I love Cillian Murphy. He knows this. He's like my favorite actor. And I think he absolutely killed it.
He crushed it, man.
He freaking crushed it.
Like, that's his name.
But this movie, Cillian Murphy, Irish. Anyway.
Irish. He's an Irish.
Irish. He's great. He's great.
He's great in the movie. Yeah.
He's great in the movie. He's great in what character he portrays. This movie was, again, I am like a science-y person. Yeah. So I told Anthony, I'm like, wow. And he kind of knew, what the hell? It sounds weird. Like I lost hearing to my right ear. And
I told you, the mic has been all screwed up.
What are you doing?
He said,
keep your thoughts. Keep your thoughts.
Oh, there we go. It's this. Okay. So what I was saying, sorry about that.
I like turtles.
I understood a lot of the references in like physics or math, not all of them, of course, because I'm not that smart, but the stuff that I covered that I learned about, and I don't know why, but that just gave me a good sense of feeling like, wow, like I know this stuff. Yeah. Like I understand this. So I understood a lot of those sciencey references. Like, for example, where at one point, I forget the character who plays in The Boys, the skinny dude, So
Huey, yeah, but what's his name?
Huey, I forgot his name. He portrays Carl Sagan.
Jack Quaid. He portrays Carl Sagan in the movie, and one of the funniest things is that another character, I forgot who, asked him like, "Hey, during the bomb testing, why aren't you wearing shades for protection?" And he says, "Oh, I don't need it because the windshield protects me." Yeah. Oh my, I lost it. That was hilarious. And like this guy is like a physicist. He's known today as the father of physics. And just it was just all these little things. Yeah, it was just all these little things that just made it stand out even more. Aside from the acting from all the actors, which this movie was stacked. Oh yeah,
it had a lot of phenomenal actors. Josh Peck, which was surprising. We all know, or most of us know, that Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, he's winning Best Supporting Actor.
He's got to win it for this. Emily Blunt, was it Emily Blunt? Emily Blunt was great.
Small role, but she killed it.
She killed it, yeah. And even smaller role was Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
Which she was also great in. The Mistress. So overall, this movie is, I wouldn't recommend it for everyone, but those people who will like film, quote unquote,
Right.
that are more into like sophisticated movies and they like seeing movies that are heavy in dialogue that build on that story. This is the movie for you. And it is, in my opinion, incredible. It might currently be my favorite Nolan film as of now.
Really?
But we do have an episode on that movie and on Nolan films. So check it out.
Auggie, watch The Prestige, for God's sakes.
The Prestige is incredible.
That's the best one.
I love The Prestige.
He loves The Prestige.
I don't know. The Dark Knight's
give me,
up there.
Give me Nolan's top 3 and I'll watch and I'll
The
rank
Dark
them.
Knight, The
I seen
Prestige, Interstellar.
I've seen Interstellar.
There
I
you
love
go.
Interstellar.
There you go. Watch the other two then. Oh, you've seen The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Watch The Prestige
The
then.
Prestige and then Oppenheimer.
The Prestige is phenomenal.
His list is
Oppenheimer,
different.
right?
Oppenheimer, you should
It's up
definitely
there.
see it. Yeah,
Oppenheimer's really good. You just have to have the patience for it.
it is. It's a lengthy movie, but again, it's rewarding in my opinion. Seeing the doom of the world being caused by this one man.
They only did it once.
Only did it once.
They dropped it twice, but they only did it once.
Yeah, and
They're
that's
like,
all
hey,
you
we can't do
needed.
this. Like, we can't do this no more.
Damn.
Yeah, it's gonna come back to theaters in January.
That's the only thing
and
we did
I
once,
think
actually.
I'm thinking of going to see it again. I have to see it again.
That's bad. And is it shot like old film?
It's
Didn't they
in
do that somewhere?
IMAX 70 millimeter.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I thought I saw that shit. Where they,
It's like it's over a mile long. The reel. Yeah, crazy, huh?
I'd buy that shit if I was a movie
Dude.
like collecting movie shit. I'd buy it.
I might
You
just
would
have
like
to.
it.
I might just have to buy it. The 4K version.
Yeah.
I just might. It's that good.
Augie, you would like it, but it's just really long, really slow.
Yeah.
You probably have to watch it on your own.
That's why I'd watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have anyone talking over you. A girlfriend. What's going on?
Ooh! Women suck.
What's going on? What's happening?
All right. My number 2,
Is
Guardians of the Galaxy
oh
Volume 3. So, this movie is incredible. You've already said enough about it. It's not even on your top 10, right?
I have one more to go. Who knows?
Oh, shit. Okay.
can't say nothing
Well, it's incredible.
I have stuff to say.
It's James Gunn's finale in the MCU. Again, like Augie said, all these stories end perfectly. We get Drax as like the father. We get Nebula going off doing her own thing.
Mhm.
Excuse me, I just burped.
The best fight scene, action scene.
It is Rocket's story. And we get to see his origin, and we get to see the worst villain, probably even more evil than Thanos. What's his name in here?
The creator.
Damn, what's his name?
I'm forgetting his name as well.
The creator. It's got to be
It's something like
Not
that.
the
Yeah.
creator. It's something like that.
It's-
All right. You look it up. I'm gonna keep talking.
Okay.
The point is, we get one of the best villains in the MCU,
Yeah.
and we get Rocket's origin story where he gets to see Lila and Teef and Floor, and that's the most heartbreaking thing. And you know it's gonna happen,
Yeah.
but it happens anyway, and you get to see why the Guardians are as close as they are. Again, as you mentioned earlier, James Gunn has to bring Gamora back into his story because of other writers / directors, and he does the best job he can. And even then, we get to see from her point of view why this family loves each other the way that they do. And we get great action scenes. We get a badass hallway action scene. But on top of that, James Gunn is just one of my favorite directors because he
Yeah.
knows how to balance the funny, the heart, and the drama all together. What's his name?
High Evolutionary.
The High
High
Evolutionary.
Evolutionary, yeah.
He's so evil, and we get to the point
Or
where
Kanye.
Rocket has to... minor spoilers. We get to the point where Rocket has to face this evil that has been with him.
He's a piece of shit.
That's been haunting him his whole life. And all right, now we're at full spoilers.
Look.
All right, go for it.
This motherfucker, the High Evolutionary, has the balls to torture young, innocent animals.
And it's an easy way to hate him.
It's so, like, you hate him immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately, you're just like, oh, I hate this guy.
And
Oh, what is he doing to Rocket? Oh, he's
Right.
such a piece of shit.
poor Rocket. And there are better films, like better artsy films
Right.
than this, but
Yeah.
this one just hits me on an emotional level.
The part where Rocket is like, I can't leave
Yeah.
without them. Them being the animals, his other little raccoons,
Yeah.
all kinds of animals. He tells that to
Delilah.
No. He tells that to that's towards the end.
Yeah.
So they're hopping
He tells
over.
that to Star-Lord. He's like, I can't leave without them, man. Either
Okay.
you help me or I die here trying to get them out. And that scene just hits so hard.
Yeah.
And you know,
yeah,
Peter loves them, so he's like, okay. He's like, I understand. Okay, let's get him out. And they
Noah's
do
Ark shit.
that. And he puts his life on the line.
Right.
And then you think, right, because this whole movie has been built on us knowing or thinking that one of the Guardians is going to die. And who do we think it is? It's freaking Peter when he's frozen
Star-Lord.
and freaking Star-Lord
Freeze-dried
and
his
he's
ass.
freezing in the space. And you're like, oh no, it's happening. And I was crying.
Yeah.
I had tears.
And
And I
here-
was like, oh no, it's
And then
freaking
here
Peter.
comes Adam Warlock.
The most random character
Yeah.
you can think of.
He
It's not
comes
a-
like the 16th
I
chapel.
forgot- yeah.
Yeah.
And
Comes and
it's not
touches him.
it's not a
I
perfect
was like,
movie.
this guy. I was like,
It's not a perfect movie. I don't even think it's the best Guardians movie, but it's such a good movie. And James Gunn, for me, again, one of my favorite directors, knows how to balance the heart and the drama and the funny all together. And I just think that he speaks my language.
yeah.
And to me, this is my number 2 because he knows how to balance all of those things. He wraps up all of these characters and all these sad moments with Rocket being tortured. All these sad moments, and the moment that gets me like the most teary-eyed is when Drax is dancing at the end.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
because
part's
it's
great.
such a happy moment,
Right.
and I'm tearing up in the theater, and I have tears in my
Dog Days
eyes
Are Over is
because-
playing.
Yeah, Dog Days Are Over is playing, and Drax is finally dancing, and all the families together, and
Yeah.
I'm crying in the theater. Like this is number 2 for me.
I would say too
That
because he
leads-
doesn't dance. That's the whole reason why he
Yeah.
married his
I
wife.
think
He does.
I think we're all gonna have the same number 1.
I think we're all gonna say number 1. So let's just go through it. We'll all list our number 1, and then we'll explain why. Okay, you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Auggie, what is your number 1?
Number 1 movie of the year, Spider-Man Across the
Oh my god, what did I tell you?
Misa, what's your number 1?
Across the Spider-Verse, baby.
My number 1 is Across the Spider-Verse.
Tells you, dude. I don't
And I was like,
the moment I left the theater, dude.
and we
The
don't
moment I
I
left the
said, look at
theater.
this shit, dude.
Auggie,
Ain't nothing beating this.
before we go
I
to
said,
you,
what the?
before we go to you in your explanation, we all listed tons of movies here that are more than just
I sacrificed at least 3 of them. I sacrificed at least 3 of
Yeah,
them.
we don't just like superhero movies.
No.
We don't just like action movies. We all listed tons of movies that we love.
And we have more that
And-
were on our list that they didn't
Yeah.
make in our top 10.
We listed tons of movies that we love and TV shows that we love and enjoy and that are different genres. And somehow we all came down to the same one. Augie, why is Across the Spider-Verse your number 1?
Shit's perfect. Shit's literally perfect, dude. The freaking art style, the soundtrack, the Metro Boomin soundtrack, everything. The actors, the story, what we're gonna get, how they left us hanging,
Right.
what they gave us.
So you have no issue with the fact that it's like half a story?
No, hell no. And then I saw
Quotes.
it, and then I
Quotes.
saw it again not too long ago. And watching the other people not knowing what's gonna happen in certain scenes, I was like, "This is crazy." I was like, for one, them seeing other Spider-Man all together, that's
Right.
crazy. And then seeing them react to him being somewhere else,
Mhm.
the ending we got, the twist.
But this is the best movie you've seen in the whole year.
And I went as far as last time saying that it's the best Spider-Man too.
You did say that.
I said it's the best Spider-Man, and then I saw No Way Home again, and these 2 movies,
Yeah, No Way Home is fantastic.
I would have to do a whole podcast on those 2 alone,
Right.
but
And we gotta do it.
Spider-Man, this freaking
The Spider-Man.
So I feel like we're gonna have a general conversation right now. So Misa, why is this your number 1?
I think the overlying story, the overlying foundation of this story of this character who, in my opinion, the theme of this movie is feeling alone, right? Being by yourself, not having anyone there to like kind of be with you or guide you, right? And just seeing this character, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, just overcoming that is just well, not even fully overcoming that, because this is only part one of 2 parts. So just leading to where it ended was just like, it was an emotional roller coaster where at points I felt like I could relate, where this character was desperately grasping for his hope and reality of what he wanted his life to be, and then struggling with that. And at the same time, seeing and meeting people that were either against him, or at least he felt were against him, and just overcoming that, where it was just like, you know what, I create my own destiny.
Right.
And the people that are there for me, great, awesome. But if you're not, I don't need you. I'm doing this whether you like it or not.
And to piggyback off of what you're saying, I got chills. to piggyback off of what you're saying, one of my favorite scenes of this movie is from the trailer, and it is when his mom is telling him right before he goes after Gwen, is when she's telling him like it's hard for me to see my little boy become my little man. Like you're becoming an adult, and nobody out there is gonna care for you.
Right.
And that relates to everybody in the real world. Like you're no longer a boy, especially like us three, like being like young boys. And I know this story relates to everybody, but especially us, like being young boys. It's just like, hey, nobody gives a shit about you, and I do, and it hurts to know that you're gonna go out there into the big world, and nobody cares about.
And we're not that young, by the way.
We're no, I mean, yeah, we're getting up there. We're either close to 30 or are over 30. This guy over here. But my point is, like, having that mom tell him like the world doesn't care about you, and it's scary for me to let you go into that and remember that you were always loved. And for him, like, she's talking about him going to college and becoming this like career man, you know, like in whatever field he wants to do. But it relates to this story because he's going to the Spider-Verse. And he's like with all these giant like threats to the universe.
You know, not only that, but what I was saying is that literally all of them are telling him like, no, dude, you can't undo this. This is destiny.
Right.
You can't change everyone.
Right.
The people he cares about are telling him, no, dude, you can't do this. And he's like,
yeah,
no way. Like that can't be right.
Let's get into the nerdy shit now. Because that was
okay.
That speech was the human stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get into the nerdy stuff. The whole point of this movie is Miguel O'Hara, which played by Oscar
Spider-Man 99,
which is played by Oscar Isaac perfectly. Oscar Isaac could play anything he wants, and
he's gonna kill it.
And he's gonna kill it. And he plays the antagonist, not villain, the antagonist in this movie, and he's like the threat to Miles. And his whole thing is he doesn't like Miles because Miles, as it's revealed in the third act, is the original anomaly. Yeah. He's not supposed to be Spider-Man because the spider that bit him came from the Collider from Into the Spider-Verse, which is one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know how they were going to top this shit.
I know.
It's so hard, but it did
it. Yeah. I still like Into the Spider-Verse more, but I'm not going to argue anybody that thinks that this movie's better. And that's how good this movie is. Is that like, I'm not going to argue. I know you think it's better. Do you think it's better than Into the Spider-Verse? Either way, they're up there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on what day. It might be a little over, a little bit under. And it's funny because when we made our episode on our top 10 movies of all time, I didn't add Into the Spider-Verse on my top 10. Remember that?
Right, yeah.
But I said that one was really hard, but I had to leave it for X, Y reason.
Right.
But like, I think it really depends on what day you ask me.
Okay.
Like if you ask me today, like, hey, do you think? I'm like, absolutely. It's in my top 5.
Right. Yeah. As it sits with you and it marinates. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's in my top 5 right now.
But again, if we're getting into nerdy stuff, into Spider-Man stuff, into the story, Miguel doesn't like him because he's the original anomaly.
Right.
He was never supposed to be Spider-Man. And then Miles is just like, yeah, I hear you.
I get it. I understand.
I get it. I hear you. But I'm going to do my own thing.
I'm not going to let you decide my destiny.
Exactly. He decides his own fate. And at the end, it turns out he ends up in the universe where his biggest threat is himself.
Where he was supposed to be the original Spider-Man.
The universe where he took the spider from is the threat that now he is facing.
And it couldn't have been better. Besides the character that was his uncle in
Uncle
the first
Aaron, baby.
movie.
And out of all this, none of us have mentioned Gwen because this is Gwen's story.
Not any of them really. Spider-Punk.
Yeah, exactly. And all we've mentioned is Miles, but this story, Into the Spider-Verse, introduced us to many great side characters.
Yeah.
And this movie is just like, okay, pause on that.
They even started different.
Yeah.
She even says it herself.
And this movie is like, pause. Let's introduce you to more side characters. And on top of that, this is
Boom.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is Gwen's story. It starts off with Gwen, it ends with Gwen, and it's about her finding her band. She doesn't belong, but on top of that, the whole theme of the story is that Miles doesn't belong either because he's not even supposed to be.
It's
Spider-Man.
all about overcoming your difficulties because we do see Gwen eventually come out to her dad like, "Hey, I'm actually Gwen. I'm Gwen the Spider or Spider Gwen." You know,
and then the art style for
and
Gwen's
the
universe,
art style, like it's just like
whenever it gets emotional, it's like watercolors.
there's a
just
lot of
melting.
layers to each character. And this is only the beginning. We're only peeling the first layers, and it's only going to get better.
And then,
at least I hope it does.
At the end of the story, spoilers, if you haven't seen this movie, you're dumb, right?
Yeah, that came out, like January, February?
Somewhere.
Beginning of the year.
You're not dumb. Just go watch it.
It's free on Netflix.
It's free on Netflix. Just go watch it. The point is, at the end of the story, spoilers, is Gwen finds her band. And not only is it the characters we introduce in this movie, we get the characters we introduced in the first movie. And we have like 8 Spider-Man characters that we care about that are going to save Miles for the next movie. And he isn't letting it get to him the fact that Miguel told him, like, you're not even supposed to be Spider-Man. No, he's persevering and proving that he's supposed to be Spider-Man. And all these other Spider-Mans are coming to save him because they've met him, they love him, they know him. And we're not even done with the story yet. And
we're just getting started.
They took that from me.
And people like to critique this movie like this is half a movie. I think this is a complete movie with also like tying into like I understand.
But they didn't say that with Harry Potter.
or Twilight.
Okay.
That's the point. This is a part.
It's a freaking what's it called? It's like from an essay. It introduces the next paragraph.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like this is a part 1 to a part 2, but there is a whole story here, and the story is Gwen's story.
They didn't say that Avengers.
Okay.
Okay. He's like, we get it. No, 100%. But I've talked enough. Is there anything else you guys want to say about this movie?
I think we left it at a good note, in my opinion. If Auggie has anything to say, I'm more than happy to listen and add if there is anything to add. But
just can't wait till part 3.
Yeah.
Next.
But anything else?
When's part 3 come out?
So I think it was delayed because of, I guess there was these things that came out that they were overworking their people in the studio or whatnot. Yeah, so it might be a while, probably 2025, the earliest. Regardless, take the time it needs, you know. Yeah. As long as we all get the completion of these characters, and we get the rest of their layers, and we end on a high note, I'm more than satisfied.
I was nervous going into part 2, but now that they nailed part 2,
right,
I have all the confidence in the world that they're going to nail part 3. We're going to land the plane perfectly, and it's going to be a great trip.
There's a lot of theories and anticipations, but yeah, you were saying?
Especially now that they're getting paid.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. They were, hopefully they won't get as overworked to death as they were, and hopefully they're getting compensated fairly.
Right.
But regardless, we are glad, and it's completely side note and a complete sidetrack, but we are glad that the strikes are over with for the most part. We are glad that everything is back on road, on set, and hopefully we keep getting these awesome projects because we want to keep talking about them. We want to keep sharing our thoughts and opinions, and we are happy that you guys are all listening to us. Thank you.
He said that freaking perfectly. Now, we were going to do awards at the end, but we're running pretty late. How about this? We'll do one.
Okay, sure.
What is the most surprising movie of the year for you?
Barbie.
Or TV show. Most surprising for me, if we're trying to be different, because I would have said Barbie too. So if you're already taking that, I would say Wonka. I'm
that's right.
I'm surprised. Again, I can't believe I teared up at the end of Wonka.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Because I didn't think I'd give a shit about it. And Timothée Chalamet, I've seen Dune. I've seen, what else is he in?
I don't know. Can't remember.
My point is, I've seen Timothée Chalamet before. This was the performance where I was just like, I want to see more of this guy.
Yeah.
And I teared up. So.
I did see the one. I think it was his breakout film, like the indie film from like in Italy based. The
Call Me by Your Name.
Call Me by Your Name.
Okay, I haven't seen that, but
I think
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Most surprising?
Most surprising, I would say, is The Bear.
The Bear. Okay.
Because that was just brand new.
I respect
you, right?
that. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I didn't.
No,
I thought it was just to be
that.
another movie or another show.
Like, it's about cooking,
like I watched it because of the actor.
right?
What's his name?
Jeremy Allen White.
Jeremy Allen White.
And
I watched it because of him.
He's
and then
really good in the Iron Claw too.
Yeah.
Like,
Seeing his performance here, because I think this might be the first time I've seen him act, and I was very, very surprised and pleased, and that's one of the reasons why I want to see the Iron Claw. Because like I know what this guy could do, and I'm excited to see more of him, and he might become a favorite actor of mine, along with Cillian Murphy.
And if we're just talking about the Iron Claw, Zac Efron, dude. Zac Efron.
I just need to see
is
those shorts,
underrated.
dude.
Yeah. So what again?
I just needed to see him running. That's all.
That's it.
With the shorts and everything, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he's doing
Yeah.
it.
I told Anthony that this movie reminds me of Foxtrot.
Of
With-
Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher, my bad. I'm sorry.
That's
Gets
a really
him with the blicky.
That's a really messed up movie too. But this
You seen
movie,
it?
I think, is better than Foxcatcher.
really.
Yeah, because Foxcatcher was just like
And Foxcatcher, it's a good movie.
it was just.
It's
like,
not a great movie, but it's a good movie.
It's good,
Uh-huh.
good performances, but you're just waiting for the end where Iron Claw is good all the way through, and it's tragic all the way through.
I mean, it's a tragic story all around.
But it has beautiful performances. Zac Efron's great. Jeremy Allen White is great, and there's another brother in there. I'm forgetting his name, but he's great as well. Are we gonna leave it there?
I'm fine with that.
You guys satisfied?
Maybe
What was
just
your
maybe just a quick what you're looking forward to next year.
No, we're gonna have a whole topic on that.
Okay,
Wolverine.
I guess not.
Wolverine,
Wolverine,
Deadpool.
the game, Deadpool.
No, we're gonna have a whole topic on that. I think we're gonna break this out into 2 different episodes. 'Cause
He
it's
said
so
Godzilla.
long.
Tell him Godzilla. You're excited for Godzilla next year.
Godzilla.
No, because that's 2 different things.
Still Godzilla.
Well, did you notice that? Oh, never mind. There wasn't another Godzilla.
Did you notice that?
My point is that Japan Godzilla is way better than the American Godzillas have ever been.
Jesus. Okay.
I'm not arguing you.
Ever.
I won't argue with him either. He's the Godzilla expert lover.
Anime everything, dude. They're making anime everything. Anime Power Rangers, anime Godzilla.
So next episode is going to be our 2024 hype. We're going to talk about all of our favorite 2024 projects. That's going to probably be 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, probably.
Because I'm probably going to break this episode into 2 now since
It's
we're going for 3 hours.
a lengthy episode.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to break it up into 2. Next episode,
but it just shows how much fun we're having,
Exactly.
and how much we could go. Like we've had to stop ourselves from continuing from talking as I am right now.
we could have gone 4 hours.
Exactly.
Okay, so if you made it this far, once again,
Thank you for
please-
watching.
Yes, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please share. Please comment. Like it if you like it. Auggie, any final comments on the year of 2023? Perfect.
Let's go Super Bowl.
Rams.
Oh, Rams,
Let's go
baby.
Super Bowl.
Let's go Rams.
Let's go Rams.
Misa, any comments to finalize 2023?
Absolutely. I mean, as you've as always, first of all, share, comment, anything, any opinions you may have from our episode today. Share your thoughts. Share with us your top 10 movies of the year.
Can I take my gun?
And obviously,
Yeah, not so obvious, is it?
so I rechecked what I was going to say, but basically what I was going to say
I like
is
turtles.
I like turtles. And watch the other movies that we didn't get to see and share that with us as well. We definitely want to get those watched, and we will be discussing some more about them in the future.
And there's a lot of movies we didn't mention keep in mind, we watched them. We watched your Killers of the Flower Moon. We watched your Asteroid City. It just didn't make the list. And come Oscar
Shit, Loki didn't make your list.
Loki didn't even make my list.
Oh, that's right. The last of us didn't make my list.
Come Oscar season, we're going to talk about more of these Oscar bait movies, which I call them Oscar bait, but I appreciate them. I love them.
You got Barbie over Loki?
Yeah.
That's it.
Once again, like, comment, subscribe, share, do all those things. 2024 is going to be bigger for Act 4 Media. New set.
New sets.
New topics.
New topics.
New everything.
Hopefully more followers, more subscribers.
Oh, they'll come. And
we'll
until
come.
next time.
And we have a lot more planned. More original episodes coming real soon.
Absolutely. Until next time, we're Act 4 Media, bitch.
Okay.
Peace out.
Peace.